the Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon Channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's humble manservant Dave Cackley over yonder. Friday.
It's who I am. Yeah.
Friday.
Mm-hmm. You got big plans this weekend, or just
Well,
relaxing and chilling out
I
in your
think,
lake house?
hey, I'll tell you what you should think about doing. We've got some chances of rain tonight, which it could throw things into all kinds of weirdness. Party in the Park is tonight, of course.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
but Holton Days is going on just up the road.
Okay.
So you got as you're working your way up 120, you go past our house where everybody honks and waves,
Right.
which is nice. We like that.
Or gives you the finger.
Well,
It's
Mister, it's a family
Hey, what?
show. Let's just
Okay.
all right. Thank you. Um,
You can blur that out.
yeah, okay, sure, I'll do that
Uh-huh.
because I'm really all about that extra effort. But Holton's just up the road, and there is a fantastic group of people that took over the Little Town Festival a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you what, for a group of people to take over a small town, I mean, because it really got to the point where it wasn't bad, but it was just the same thing year after year after year after year after year, right? It needed a little new life breathed into it.
Yeah.
Last year, this group takes it over, and they were stellar in their work, what they built. This year, they're back at it again. It looks bigger and better and even more fun. They don't even call it the beer tent. They don't mess around. It's just the beer fence. They just put snow fence up around in a big square.
There we go.
And that's the beer tent area, right? They didn't even no roof, no nothing. It's the beer fence.
Yeah, you need to get the sun. You need the vitamin D.
Right. Especially after dark.
Well, you're imbibing.
So the beer fence is going on, the parade's going on, the kids' activities, the vendor market, and all that, food trucks and all that kind of cool stuff. But to see a small town like that and the people in it that really want something to shine all grab the reins and put that much extra work into it, I'm all on board. I think it's fantastic to see people activate and want better for their smaller communities like that. And the other thing about that group in Holton is that they're very welcoming. It's not like that small town mentality. Like, this is our beer tents down here.
Well, no, see, that isn't. But see, that's. But what that is what small towns are. They usually are welcoming. It's not the get out of here. It really isn't. If you're like me and you grew up in a town that has less than a few thousand people in it, there was none of that. There just wasn't. And in most small towns I'm
not besmirching small towns.
I know you grew up. You grew up in the big city of Sparta, so
what I'm simply saying is this: is that all right? Let's go back to the Sparta beer tent. That was just like a giant class reunion for everybody that hadn't graduated 30 years before.
Yeah.
Every year. That's what the Sparta beer tent was. It was the multi-purpose class reunion. And if you were from Kent City, Casnovia, Kennewa, Rockford, maybe, all right, you're cool. And there was never a problem, and it was never like, you're welcome. But you were not in that clique. You were not in and among the Spartaites that graduated from Sparta High School that was using the beer tent as their class reunion. And I'm not saying that it's unwelcoming, but I'm just simply saying that there's that small town attitude that you're not from here. Hey, glad you're here. Have a beer, but this is our party. It's not. I'm not.
Well, it's one of those. You're welcomed. And I'm big on this. Wherever you go, let's say you're going to put roots down somewhere. You're going to go into, whether you're going into to a city, you're going into someplace out in the country, you're going to a smaller town, whatever. You kind of, the expectation is that you assimilate to whatever that particular town, that city, that lifestyle. Otherwise, you're not going to be happy anyway.
Right.
It's fine to have your own thing that you do or whatever, your interests or your own, mentality. That's fine, but make sure you're able to ingratiate that in a positive way into whatever city, town, or community you're going into. I think
Right.
sometimes people get this whole attitude of I'm coming here and I'm going to do it this way, and this is the way I do things, and I'm going to have this ad. And it's like it doesn't always
No, it doesn't.
mesh well,
No.
and it rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah, it really does. I get
So
that.
you got to be, yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Like when you
But-
moved up to Twin Lake and you
excuse me,
went
sir.
from your
Beautiful Cedar Creek Township.
Cedar Creek Township. When you moved from what?
Beautiful Cedar Creek Township.
Beautiful up to beautiful Cedar Creek Township.
There you go.
From your former more humble abode, although it was nice.
Hmm?
You had the nice condo and everything.
Little Roosevelt Park going on.
Roosevelt Park was fine, but then you moved up there. You live a different lifestyle now.
Yeah.
It's a different you not that you're a different person, but it's you assimilate to that.
I was out
way.
John Deering tractors last night.
Yeah.
That's
There
right.
you go.
I tore up
So
my
it's a
driveway
diff-
with the front end loader and repacked it because we got washed.
And they've embraced you like you've been there 50 years now.
That's
you
right.
might as well, because you're and that's just the way it is.
That's the way it is.
And that's cool. I like that.
So you should come up to Holden Days tomorrow. That's what
You know what? I would, but tomorrow
Oh.
I'm actually heading up to Lake McCosta.
You got it right.
To my
Good
buddy's
job.
my buddy's
My
place
buddy's
up
free
there,
food and
cottage.
booze and lake,
Exactly.
and I can
And lake,
show my
I will
ugly
be-
toes on
I will
Facebook
be-
again.
Yo,
That'll be
I will
great.
be,
and-
yes.
Ugh.
I will be. It'll be 2 days in just a bathing suit, man. It's going to be fun.
So
Looking
gross.
forward- or maybe just a day. I mean, I think usually it's just basically all day Saturday. Maybe we stay and then head out in the morning, but
Maybe we
um,
stay.
maybe I don't know. Probably
we
just
stay.
because it's a long. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a long
We
ride
probably-
home with one eye open,
It's-
trying to focus
yeah.
on that lane.
Yeah. It's
Max,
first of all, Max, you might have to take the wheel. Daddy's had a
Max.
couple. No.
I had 3 Zimas. I can't. Oh.
Zima, how dare you?
Okay, excuse me.
How dare
Max,
you?
I had 3 White Claws.
No, okay. Well, Waco, that's actually, you know what? That's a good possibility. I like that's a solid summer beverage. Although I've gotten more back into the Coronas.
Oh,
Although I still kind of like the Absolute and waters, the occasional whiskey. You know, if I'm going to be, you do some sipping. It's nice.
well,
Just
all
how
right,
it is.
Otis. Enjoy your weekend up in Lake
All right.
McCosta. And I'll be busy working
Of course.
my
Hey.
paid contribution of a sponsorship at Holton Days.
Hey,
Thank
look,
you.
man. We journalists, we need our downtime, and I've been knocking out these stories left and right. Today, I'm really happy with all three.
Let's
of these.
go.
These
I'm
just
excited.
All great. This first story is awesome. I love this.
Okay.
A new bill passed in Texas will have a major impact on drunk driving. With passage of this latest legislation, an intoxicated driver who kills a parent will now have to pay child support
Whoa.
if convicted. The court will determine the amount to be paid monthly until that child turns 18. So there you go. You drink, you drive, you kill somebody who happens to be a mom or a dad. You're taking care of that kid.
Good.
And
I like that.
God
And you know
bless
what?
Texas for that.
I say that from the perspective of somebody
Mhm.
that should be doing life in prison
Yeah.
for drinking and driving.
Yeah, it's not worth the risk. You've got all these ways. Somebody's going to give you a ride home. You can Uber it from virtually anywhere, or Lyft. I'm more of a Lyft guy. I actually drop my Uber app and just have Lyft now for those rare instances where Daddy may have had a few too many. That doesn't happen often, but it's it's one of those
Sure.
things. You got to be safe out there.
Of course.
Anyway, one of the founding members of the Eagles has died. Randy Meisner, the
Oh.
original bassist, joining Don Henley, Glenn Fry, and Bernie Ledden to form the band back in 1971, passed away on Wednesday. Meisner's, of course, memorable vocals on Take It to the Limit helped it reach number 4 on the Billboard chart back in 1975. He died from chronic pulmonary disease. Meisner was 77 years old. I always forget that his voice on that track was just so, it's weird to say, that beautiful. It was soulful. It was everything you come to expect from the Eagles. Whoever's doing the vocals, it's just, that lilting, just incredible voice from the greatest band in the history of rock music. It's
Yeah.
just Godspeed,
I
Randy
wish him the
Meisner.
best. I hope that he's up there in heaven doing whatever they do in heaven. And
Rocking out with Glenn Fry. And,
still not Genesis, but
Jesus.
the fact of the matter is this: and while I was gone, we missed a couple of deaths. Alan Arkin passed away.
And that's right.
That was
Yeah.
that was a slug in the gut to me. We talked about
Okay,
Sinead O'Connor yesterday.
Yeah.
Who else is?
I
I think I saw another couple that were like
Alan
fierce.
Arkin, though. I remember thinking about that because he was really good in everything, and then he got that kind of like, what was a Little Miss Sunshine, which was an overrated movie. It was good. He didn't deserve an Oscar for that, but it was kind of one of those, you've been so good in all these other movies.
I don't know.
We're gonna throw you this kind of. It was kind of like when Jack Palance won for what the hell was that movie?
The
cowboy movie that with Billy Crystal and
I don't know what it was
Daniel
called.
Stern. I can't
cowboy
remember.
thing. Curly's Gold or whatever.
No, that was the
City
sequel,
Slickers.
which City Slickers. Thank you.
But I'm going to disagree with that on Little Miss Sunshine, because I think that Arkin played a role in that movie that was so low key, right up to the pinnacle. Hear me out. You had no idea what Grandpa was doing until that moment hit, and I
was just
think
gross and disgusting.
It was hysterical. It was the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. I laughed so hard. But I'm going to tell you, my favorite Alan Arkin role, one of the best movies ever made, and why this isn't shown like every other weekend at the theater just to get a crowd together is beyond me. Grosse Pointe Blank.
Oh yes.
Masterpiece.
As John Cusack's therapist.
I
thank you for pointing that out, because that was what it was so great, and so like kind of how you would think a therapist of a professional killer should be.
Yep.
Should behave.
Everything
and
everything about Grosse Pointe Blank is perfect.
Yes.
The soundtrack is awesome.
You're right.
Minnie Driver
has never acted better or looked better in a film.
Awesome. Cusack's awesome.
John
Jeremy
Cusack
Piven is great.
Jeremy Piven was great. Everything was great.
Grosse Pointe Blank.
Even the guy that Cusack pulls out of the convenience store before it explodes.
Yeah. Now I got to find another job.
Now I got to find another job. Everybody was awesome in that. Good God.
Great movie.
Finally, lawmakers in Lansing are looking to expand Michigan's bottle return policy. Currently, sodas, beer, and other carbonated beverages under a gallon have a refundable 10-cent deposit. New legislation, if passed, would expand that to include tea, water, sports drinks, and hard cider. Well, it's a good way to get people to recycle, and you make a few extra shekels. You don't have to just, because you're more inclined. I'm more inclined to throw away the Gatorade bottles. Now it's like, hey, wait, that's cash.
Oh my God, a dime.
Toss away some cash.
Max, that could be a pair of shoes for you.
There you go. No, God, his shoes are way too expensive. Good Lord. Football cleats he just got. Oh man, don't get me started.
Cry me a river.
And actually, Alexa's more crying for that one because she had to pay for those. So.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, sports. Angels beat Detroit twice. 6-0 and 11-4.
Oh.
Tigers just hitting that toilet water and spinning down. Cubs win. They beat St. Louis 10-3. And Michigan State college football, October 21st, Spartan Stadium. Game time 7:30 NBC. The first Michigan State game at Spartan Stadium in prime time, national TV. It's good. I'm hoping against hope for Sparty this year, because
I'm going to put 20 on it right now if you want to.
I'm not putting any money on
chicken
it.
Shit.
I ain't putting in, because I don't know. I don't think Michigan State's going to be that good. I think Michigan State's a mediocre football team.
I'll tell you what,
though. And Michigan has a shot at a national championship. So if they can spoil that, Michigan State could lose every game. They win that game and spoil Michigan's shot at a national title.
Oh, I got caught up in something.
That's
Sorry
sports.
about that.
Uh-huh.
So I will say this with the Tigers' double loss yesterday early
Mm-hmm.
gave me the opportunity to watch a new Nova thing called The Mind of a Rage Killer, where they went into all these the brain
Mm-hmm.
activity. You can watch it. Go
Oh,
find it on Nova.
that
Amazing.
is that on? Oh, it's on Nova.
PBS. Yeah.
PBS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
PBS.
if
I
it was
wouldn't
on
want to watch anything
if it were on
intelligent.
one of the streaming
PBS
PBS.
is streaming.
If it's not
Stupid.
if it's not a Burns documentary or something,
Oh my God.
most of that shit's overrated.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Film directors for 1,200.
Go ahead.
All right. You got the category right.
Mm-hmm. Film directors.
He was born in Pondicherry, India, named Manoj.
Oh my God.
Well, I can't read this. All right. He was born in Pondicherry, India, and named Manoj, which he shortened to M.
Oh, that would be M. Night Shyamalan.
Giveaway. It was a freebie.
Giveaway. What are you talking about? You wouldn't have gotten that.
Oh, whatever.
You'd be like, but dude, you couldn't even pronounce the question
You couldn't either.
or the answer. No,
Yeah,
I just
well,
knocked it right out of the
You
park.
can't
Boom.
pronounce
Don't hang
Macosta.
those. Bitch, do not hang those curveballs. I will light you up, meat. Boom! Get
Go
outta
mooch
here.
off your
Ah,
other
blank.
friends this weekend. We'll see you later.
See ya.
Happy Friday, Muskegon. Severe weather is possible once again this evening, so let's take a look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Starting out with your weather headlines for Friday and this weekend, we will be very muggy and very warm for Friday, especially during the afternoon with highs near 90 and dew points in the mid 70s. It will feel close to 100 degrees today, with strong to severe weather is possible for Friday evening, especially after 6 p.m., and that warm and muggy conditions will likely help to fuel these storms until comfortable weather thankfully will return by Saturday afternoon. But as of Thursday night, we are in a slight risk or a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather for Friday evening, and I wouldn't be too shocked if this gets upgraded to an enhanced risk as well, especially across the lake. And this is why this is only one model showing the potential, at least, for some damaging storms to move across West Michigan. Most of the other models at least have the stronger storms across the lake moving south through Wisconsin and northern Illinois. So I think they have the best chance of seeing severe weather at least, but it's definitely still possible here in West Michigan. So stay weather aware for Friday evening, especially after 6 p.m., as this model does show a pretty decent line of storms moving through right around 8 p.m. or so, and damaging winds and very heavy rain that could cause minor flooding like we saw on Wednesday would be the biggest threat. But otherwise, besides the storms, it's going to be pretty hot out today with highs near 90 and dew points well into the 70s, so it will feel more like the mid to upper 90s, even close to 100 in some spots. Lake Michigan will thankfully be at least a good place to go to before the storms arrive. So if you want to go during the early afternoon hours, I suggest doing so because it will be pretty hot and thankfully the waves will be pretty low. But like I said, once that storm does move in, if it does, during the evening hours, definitely take shelter. So for your Friday, expect a high of 89, and it's not impossible we can have a stray storm during the afternoon, but it looks like the worst of the weather will arrive closer towards sunset, likely after 6 p.m. It will be muggy though today, so keep that in mind. And then storms will be likely during the evening hours, and some of those could be strong to maybe even severe, with damaging winds and also some flooding being the biggest threat, and then a low of 67. And then by Saturday, humidity will still linger during the morning hours, but during the afternoon, it will get a lot more comfortable around here. Highs will stay in the 80s though until Sunday when they'll drop into the 70s. Very comfortable weather is expected Sunday through Wednesday, before maybe a small chance of rain arrives next Thursday with a little bit more humidity as well. And that's your Friday and weekend forecast brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon channel. And I'm Colt Woods Weather, and stay weather aware for Friday evening, but have a great weekend as well.